He glanced around the classroom and noticed the quiet young man in the last row frowning. "Tim," he said, "anything you wanted to share?" All eyes turned to Tim, who had gotten the whole ball rolling the week before by asking his question, "What about him?" "Yeah, I guess," said Tim. "Actually, my work situation is okay." "It's more a personal thing," Dennis said quietly. "If you're comfortable." "Sure. So earlier this year, I found out that my parents are separating. Already separated, actually. Past tense." Everyone looked back at Dennis, who said, "And that's been hard for you." "Hard? It's impossible. All my life they were this constant, this bedrock. The one sure thing in my world. And they just gave up." "You sound angry about it," said Dennis. "I'm furious about it," said Tim. "I mean, I still love them, but right now I kind of hate them too. I just can't accept what they are doing. And what does it say about my whole childhood? Is that all a lie now?" "You know," said Dennis, "people change." Tim shook his head. "Not like this." Dennis considered that. "How do you think they see the situation?" he said. Tim seemed startled by that thought. "I have no idea." "What do they say?" "They say they tried their best and that this was the right decision for them, and that in time I'll grow to accept it, which I totally don't believe." Dennis paused, then said, "What if you tried believing differently?" "It doesn't work that way," Tim blurted out. There was a silence in the room, and then he said, "Oh, wow." He looked at Dennis again. "That's exactly what Hem said, isn't it?" He gave a thin smile. Dennis shrugged and smiled back. "Pretty much." "So what are you saying?" said Tim. "That they made the right decision? And that it wouldn't have been more right for them to stick together and work things out?" Dennis shook his head. "That's not for me to say. When looking at a belief, though, I like to use Hem's question. Does it lift you up or hold you down? Does it get you out of the maze or keep you running in circles?" Tim looked down at the table, thinking hard. "Just remember this, Tim," said Dennis. "Changing what you think doesn't change who you are." Tim looked up and met Dennis's eyes, then nodded slowly. "Yeah," he said. "Okay, I'll think about that." He paused, then added, "Maybe I'll take a crawl through Hem's tunnel, see if there's anything bright out there." Dennis broke into a grin. "That's great, Tim." He glanced up at the wall clock. The class was just about over. "Last week," he said, "we touched on how confusing it can be when there's so much change happening all at once. And I'm paraphrasing here, but a few of you asked the same excellent question. Where do I start?" He looked around the room. "Alex?" The others realized that Alex, who had been so vocal the week before, had been nearly silent ever since Dennis finished telling this new story. Alex paused for a long moment, thinking hard. He began speaking, slowly at first. "Seems to me," he said, "that it starts with me." Dennis nodded, as if to say, "Go on." "Well," said Alex, "I've been so focused on the problems, on my changing industry, how confusing it is, how hard it is to keep up and know what to do next." "You said you'd move with the cheese if you could," put in Brooke, reading from her notes. "But half the time, you don't even know where it went." "Right," said Alex. "And that's exactly what Hem was trying to do, right? Roaming all over the maze, trying to find a solution. But where he needed to start wasn't anywhere in the maze. It was right in his own head. When you said, 'Get out of the maze,' it hit me. The maze I'm stuck in isn't my job or my company or even my industry. It's my own approach. The maze I need to get out of, I think it's my own thinking." "Maybe it's time to let go of some old beliefs," said Brooke. "No kidding. replied Alex. And choose some new ones. Ben grinned and added, don't forget what Hem had to say about that. There is something amazing outside the maze. The group laughed again and broke into applause. Ben stood and took a bow. Well put, said Dennis, with a thoughtful smile. When you allow yourself to believe it, an entire world of new possibilities opens its doors to you, which is quite an amazing thing indeed. And on that note, my friends, our seminar comes to a close. I want to thank you all for the great discussion and wish you the very best in your careers and in your lives. And I'll leave you with this thought. If you feel you got anything of value from this little story, then I hope you will share it with others.